the numbers for Randall: 8 catches, 6 on third down this season, 4 for 5 today. Why do you guys pick up right where you left off on third down, especially?
Well, he's still a really good player, for one. Like I said after getting to Tracy, there's a knack to playing in the slot. And Devontae is an all-pro inside or outside receiver, but to have another guy in there who can get open like that and just have the feel that he does, just gives us a lot of flexibility in the offense for sure.
Aaron, what role personally did you play in trying to get Randall up to speed in the offense through the training camp and everything? Because he had a lot to try to plow through.
Well, he was staying with me for the first, 7 to 10 days, it seemed like. So our nightly routine was to go through the installs together. Now, there may have been some, television on or something, and he shushed me a few times when it was too much info. But, I wanted to get him up to speed as quickly as possible and translate. The biggest thing when you're, coming back is into a new offense, and it helped me, is to translate some of the old stuff we were doing. Now, from time to time, with him and Devontae, I still use some of the old terminology that just hits my brain. You're in the same system for 14 years, and you're trying to say one thing and it comes out the old way. Luckily, you got a couple guys that kind of know what I'm talking about. But yeah, we spent a lot of time talking about the offense, and it was good time till Ida came up, and the fun was over.
Do you have anything you want to say to Pete? Your touchdown.
Thought about you, Pete.
Is this kind of what you envisioned with Randall back in July, though? I mean, I think a lot of people were skeptical, but you weren't clearly. Is this what you saw?
Yes. Because of MVS's injury, obviously, a lot more snaps for him tonight. But I feel like the first couple weeks, we could tell that he was getting himself where he needed to be to have a bigger role in the offense. But the things that he does that is just you can't really teach is that feel. The 3rd and 10 where he had inside leverage and made a kind of an out move, and I put a good ball down the seam to him. His angle on the touchdown, on that route, just the feel. Just having guys who can do it like that. And we have a lot of guys like that. I mean, Devontae is as good as it gets with his feel, and both Alan and Bobby have a good feel, but Cobby's been doing it for a long time at a high level, and tonight was really fun.
What did you see on your touchdown run? What did it look like? What did it feel like?
Check to a play that we've hit before. My eyes kind of went left to Minka, and I thought he was going to go and double Devontae. Devontae was running a back line in with the back scatting that way, and then Bobby coming from the backside. He had a touchdown against Atlanta on the same play last year. So I was trying to hold Minka to the left and get him to maybe either take the back or go double Devontae, but he kind of stayed there and just popped on the right side. When I got through the line, I wasn't sure if I was over the line of scrimmage yet, because Cobby actually broke off his route, and I probably could have dotted him. But Pete's been talking all this trash about my athleticism, so not that I made a big statement tonight, but it's good to get in the end zone.
That feel that you talk about with Randall Cobb from the slot, does that come out any more on third down just because of the situation? And what did you see on that first touchdown?
Well, the whole plan of the defense was to take Devontae out, so there was very few times where he was singled up. Probably the times he was singled up, I threw the ball to him. Every other time he was doubled up. So we knew other guys were going to have to get involved. And Cobby just kind of flattened his route and kept coming, second hole, third hole. The protection held, and I was able to kind of get up in the pocket, and I knew I had to put a little steam behind it. But it was fun to watch him turn that corner and lower his head and get in the end zone.
Aaron, what do you think about your protection today and just the job that Steno's done with these guys and how they've gelled with Elton these last 2 weeks?
Yeah, Steno's a fantastic coach. And he's not just a good man, but he's a really bright coach. And I think he's got a future above offensive line coach for sure. But I'm proud of those guys. I thought they battled really well. You look at the sacks that we had. We had just a miscommunication in the first one, a trip, and a slide behind the line of scrimmage. So, you know, I felt like they blocked really, really well. We had a good plan. We're going to let TJ and Melvin just kind of get going. So we thumped them and had some body presence, but there were a lot of one-on-ones, and we held up really, really good.
What does having Dylan in a bigger role this year, what's that add to your offense, you think?
Yeah, I mean, he's just a different type of back. He's that cold weather Green Bay back that we've had over the years. But it's good to see him, you know, get some carries in September and October before it gets cold. We're hoping it gets cold here pretty soon. But smart kid, really smart kid. That's what I love about him. I mean, he is really taking that step in becoming a three-down back. We do a thing where we verify as we break the huddle, responsibility, route, protection stuff. It's just something I've done for years with the backs. It's kind of the first thing that happens. We break the huddle, and there's an eye contact and some sort of verbal exchange. And it's a really good marker on where those guys are at mentally. And, man, he's been really sharp. He really has. Since training camp, I've been really impressed with that. As a leader and someone who likes to, you know, use my brain to win the games, when somebody can match that preparedness like he has, it gives you a lot of confidence. So I'm really proud of that kind of jump that he's made in the passing game. Running the ball, I mean, he's a bowling ball. I mean, he's got a lot of weight behind the ball and did a nice job running the football.
How was their rotation determined?
I don't know. I mean, I think when Jonesy fumbled, they obviously went to AJ for a few more carries, but when we're in our 13 personnel that we did in the fourth quarter there, you know, run a lot of downhill stuff. You know, it's a lot of weight going downhill, so it's good to have him in there.
You talked about the confidence that Jair brings to the defense. What have you seen now with Eric Stokes? He's had some penalty calls go against him, but he makes a play tonight. It's clear it hasn't affected the confidence.
I mean, that's a big play for him there on the last drive to have a pick like that. I think he's contested really well. The more confidence he gets, probably the tighter he's going to keep playing. You know, they had, you know, some fast dudes on their side, and they were kind of the most impressive play to me was this. They hit a bunch of quick outs, right? They're doing quick out off the run action. And I was telling Marquez, he was standing next to me, I said, watch, I'm going to try and double move him at some point. And sure enough, they did there in the third quarter, I believe, and he was all over it. That was, to me, was the most impressive play, because for a young guy to give up some Omaha, and then you knew at some point they're going to double move him, and for him to be just sitting all over that was pretty impressive.
Hey, Aaron, all quarterbacks behave differently, obviously. What have you done to try and stave off the advancements that maybe Pete talked about a couple weeks ago? And how important is it to you that you're always able to be a guy that this offense can count on to be able to do everything and not have a lot of limitations on what he's capable of doing?
Well, it's the way that I think the training of the athlete has changed over the years, and I give a lot of credit to my trainers out in Westlake at Proactive, Ryan and the guys. It's the way that we train gets me ready for the season for sure. But then when you pair that with obviously the diet and the regimen and the habits, that's really important. Mike used to always say this, and I've said it many times, but once the legs go, the rest goes. And I started squatting after the 18 season, and that's been the biggest change for me. Now, obviously, you guys have watched me play a long time, and I'm not running around like I used to. You know, I think I've grown in that respect, being able to make more plays from the pocket. But every now and then I can get out and make something happen. I've always been a throw first outside the pocket, but in my younger days, I'd, you know, break off some near explosive runs from time to time. But I say that it's explosive runs like a 12-yard gain, so near explosive. Now I'm, you know, limited, Pete, to, you know, the 5 and under usually, but that's what I want to be. I want to be able to play the way I played. Obviously, that's changed. I'm not, you know, playing the way I played in 11 from a physical standpoint all the time, but I'm smarter. And I want to keep being able to run bootlegs and extend plays when I can.
Aaron, you had a moment TV broadcast caught in the first half with Mike Tomlin after you almost caught the defense with 12 men on the field. What's your relationship like with Coach Tomlin?
I mean, it's a lot of respect. I don't haven't spent time with him, but I've watched him from afar for a long time, and I think he's the second longest tenured coach in the league, probably after Bill. Third. Thank you, Tom. Who? Oh, Peyton. Yeah. Third. Thank you, Tom. That's why you're here, buddy. A lot of respect for him. I just enjoy the way that he talks about his players. I've had some friends play over there, and the stories are very consistent with the kind of day-to-day coach that he is. I just like his demeanor. I think he fits that Iron City perfectly, and a lot of respect.
Randall was talking about how the opener was humbling, and you showed confidence in this team immediately after that Week 1 loss. Why do you think that you, as a team, been able to respond as emphatically as you have in these last 3 games?
Well, I think that's the measure of a good football team. We faced adversity right away. We made proper adjustments. We didn't freak out. And we focused on the little things and the details. And I think we just, after that win at Detroit, kind of took a collective deep breath. That was an important game for us. Obviously, it's a division game, but more for a confidence standpoint. Last week was huge, confidence-wise, beating a really good team on the road that had smoked us a couple times in 19. We can't underestimate this win either. Really good football team, 1-2, a little bit of desperation. I know it's early, but wanting to not go 1-3, we knew it was going to be a tough challenge. Great front, well coached, Hall of Fame quarterback on the other side. So this is a big win for us to get to 3-1, and now we got a 3-1 team on the road.
July 17th game kind of throws a wrinkle. We're talking about the first quarter of the season, but 4 games in. What do you think you have with this team?
Well, I'm just proud of our guys because as overreactions go, there were a lot of people that were questioning us, myself, after Week 1, and we stayed the course. There's a lot to be said for that. That's what we've done over the years. We've had some rocky starts over my time, but we've relaxed. We've stayed focused. We've stayed with the plan that's got us here, and I'm proud of the defense. I think the defense, really played well tonight. And if you would have told me early in the season, we'd be without, arguably 2 of our best linemen for a couple games and play those 2 fronts, I would have been ecstatic with 2 wins. And here we are, 3-1, beating 2 fronts without Dave and without Elton.
Randall mentioned the speeches you're giving after games. Is that after every game? How big of a change is that for you in your role? Have you gotten pointers from Charles on what you want to say? What's your approach on that?
Speak from the heart. It's always the best way to do it. Just authentic in the moment, nothing planned, feeling the energy in the room and what needs to be said. Few words or a lot of words. Usually fewer the better, I think, for some of my speeches. But if Matt calls on me, which he does from time to time, then I'm ready. I think there are years past where I wasn't anywhere near as comfortable as I am now. Now to see the clout that I have for the years and the grays and the beard and all that gives me a little different energy as I step inside that circle of the team around me. But I know guys, if they're anything like me, they just appreciate honest, authentic words. No rah-rah, no cliche. Just what the focus is moving forward, and that's what I've done for those guys. I actually really relish the opportunity. He didn't call on me last week, and I was kind of bummed out after the San Fran win. I was expecting maybe he was going a different direction, maybe save me for later. I'm like the spot reliever, in the 8th inning or whatever. But he called on me tonight, and I was ready.
The Lions game, you said that the younger guys had to learn how to enjoy wins. Have you noticed an improvement in the last 2 weeks with that?
Yeah, I mean, last week, obviously, when you win by 2 on the last-second field goal, it's a different type of feeling. But I told the guys a couple lessons. this week, one at the end of the game, one in the fourth quarter as well, just about enjoying the opportunity to play this game, not taking it for granted. It's tough to win in this league. And a lot of times people say, act like you've been there. I think there's a lot to that. I mean, I grew up enjoying Barry Sanders, and every time he'd score a touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald as well, you hand the ball to the referee. I respect that. But at the same time, if that inhibits you from enjoying the beauty that this game offers and how difficult it is to win, then you probably should adjust your perspective. So I wanted to encourage those guys to enjoy it, to show that joy and that love for the game and that happiness, because it is really hard to win.